Hello and welcome to session 8. Yes, 8. I think this is now officially my longest campaign of Against the Shadow. Who would like to recap what happened last time for some inspiration that you will desperately require?
Does anyone else need the inspiration?
Well, you guys go ahead. I only know so much about what
Probably.
happened.
For obvious reasons, Syrian can't really do it, but one of you guys should remember what happened last time.
Go for it.
Coming back from the battle with the spider being Hisaranath, we were welcomed into the halls of Thranduil and honoured with a feast where we were named elf friends. We all prepared for the feast in our different ways. We were provided with elf feasting clothes, and in the feast we were given presents, each of us. Beregond received elven boots and a comb that he'd been trying to steal from the hair of an elf. It was given freely as a gift. Cynric received barding for Siru, and Syrian received a spear and a book from Thranduil's own library. Na received a cloak which would help him to hide should the thought ever cross his head. And Faroth received the black Numenorian sword reforged by the elves to become shining and silver, and with apparently no taint of the evil that was once upon it. And we danced and sang the night away, and spent 2 weeks there, and formed a few friendships and trained in the uses of our new gifts. And Faroth trained with the elf warrioress who caught us on the way into Mirkwood, Laniel, and Beregond also formed flirted basically with an elven woman by the name of Gliagwend, and from her he promised to return to her the tapestry of Celembrimbor and Amator, the gift bearer, the only surviving image of Sauron's fair form back in the time when he forged the rings in the Second Age. It had hung in the halls of Thorondir in central Mirkwood, which were now taken over by dark forces. And we were charged by Thranduil to go there and lead 30 elves. And let me just clear this: it's our mission to clear them out, well, basically to defeat the king in silver, a sort of a giant troll warrior who is the lord of those halls. We got there, we sort of scouted out the mountain. I led a party of 15, and we took 3 towers. Not all the towers, but we took 3 towers. And then an almighty battle broke out between the elves and orcs pouring out of the place. I remember Cynric led a mighty charge against them. It was like the Rohirrim charging on Pelennor fields as the Cynric led the elven charge. And just as we left it, and Nar of course charged the army himself, but just as we left it, the king in silver, the Silver King, a giant troll warrior held together elven armor and with a huge club, spiked with elven swords, and a broken crown on his head that he sort of bent to fit the size of his head, and sort of expanded with metal, has come out to meet the challenge and to destroy all before him.
Nice one. Take that inspiration. And that's where we start off. You had just smashed a huge amount of goblins and orcs with your charge, Cynric, as you like smash into the flank of these uruks of various descriptions. There was a momentary cheer, drowned out all of a sudden by the steps of this enormous troll, who called out, "Who dares invade my kingdom?" And then he leaps from where he is.
Can I make a verbal response before?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the dog.
So when he says that, Nar yells out, "I, Gnarl Ironfist, Dwarf of the Iron Hills, Orc Slayer, Elfriend, I dare."
"Foolish of you, little creature." And he leaps up into the air, 20 foot. Smashes into the formation. Goblins are crushed beneath his feet, as are two elves. He just like lands with this boom. A shockwave goes through. I'll need you to make a save, Nar, a strength save, not to fall over. All right.
I'm sorry, what do you need?
A strength save, please.
Sure, sorry.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
21.
21. Okay. Yeah. So he lands next to you. Where you can see like lots of goblins nearby, like falling over, and orcs and the like. Some of the elven horses are like stumbling from the shockwave, but you stand strong in the face of this huge thing. Must be 15, 16 feet tall. It's covered in various suits of elven armor that is like stitched together all across its bulk, and it's complemented by sort of big, heavy plates of iron. Looks like shields and the like that it is like strapped to itself. And on its head, kind of comical, is this metallic crown with spikes jutting up into the air, but lashed or bet onto it are like white elven jewels that have been like welded or maybe like hammered onto it in an almost comical fashion. But he definitely styles himself a king, and he stands and comes up to his full height. He lifts this club embedded with elven blades and tries to swing for you. Okay, the first strike comes down and smashes into the ground, throwing up all this debris, but misses you. The second, though, comes across and boom, catches you. I will need you to make a dexterity save, please.
Oh, no, not dexterity. Yeah, I don't think 7's going to cut it.
No, it's not. So it's 17 damage, and he smashes you with this huge club, and you go flying up into the air to land 20 feet away, crumpled onto the ground. He lets out this ridiculous roar. And you can see the goblins now, who had been almost broken by the charge of the Rohirrim and the elves, now kind of look around thinking, this is our chance. Next, this mountain troll who is coming down the side, where Beregond and his ilk are, sprints now across that bridge. Beregond, where you had set the trap. Is this the moment where you're going to spring it?
Yep. Yes, definitely.
So I'll need you to make a strength check, and I'm going to make this guy make a dex save. Your DC is a 10, so don't worry.
I'm gonna I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay.
Yes, I make it an 18.
Yeah, so it's sprinting on this elven sort of bridge that stretches between the two towers, and you can see the bridge kind of wobbling under this thing's assault. And as it kind of runs like dead ahead, looking at the elves and yourself within the tower, it's not looking at the ground, and this rope is hoisted up all of a sudden, and it trips, and it like lands with its side on the side of the bridge. Its huge hand, the club is dropped. Its huge hand kind of grabs to the top and it's holding on there, barely, with its like fingers embedded into the stone. Faroth, it is your turn.
Seeing this force of nature, this king of trolls erupt from the gate, Faroth sees that they can no longer afford, the elves that were with him on the borderline of the forest can no longer afford to just stand by and watch as their kin are slaughtered by this beast. So with a shout of, "Hedis in order!" he charges, hopefully with his elven friends. It'd be kind of embarrassing if he just ran out there on his own. But he is going to charge, and he's going to basically be shoulder to shoulder with... Well, can I reach him first of all, Lloyd? The distance, I don't know it. It's okay if not. But
I don't think so, because you were at like longbow range, I believe, you and your great bow
that's
range,
right. That's right. In that case, I will fire a shot, then move. So I will fire a shot at the troll. That's a 15.
No, it glances against this heavily armored bulk of the troll.
Okay.
Doesn't even look in the direction of the arrow.
And then running, I'm basically throwing the bow over my shoulder and drawing my new blade, which sings as it comes from the scabbard, ready to attack this creature.
Perfect. Nar. Nar?
Sorry, yeah, I'll go ahead and I guess take a swing at this would-be king.
Yep. So you got to pull yourself up off the ground and run back over to him.
Will I have enough movement to do so?
Yeah, you will, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I pull myself up and give my head a shake to clear the cobwebs and pull the mattock back as I charge, rowing out. Okay. Ooh. So the first one is a nat 20.
Oh, nice.
And the extra attack would be 16, 23 to hit.
Okay, that's a crit and a hit.
Okay, so we'll do the crit first. That's double the dice, correct?
Yeah.
So 8, 10, 14, 20 for the first hit.
Okay.
The only thing that could have happened is that he let those dogs out.
9 for the next hit.
Okay, nice. So you rush, and I need a percentile from you as well for the crit, please.
$12.
Okay. All right, so here's what happens. You rush up to this this huge troll, and it's like, as it sees you coming, he like lifts the thing once again to take a swing, but as he does so, and his fist is at your eye level, you lash out with the mattock with the spiked end and just lop off one of the fingers on this creature. Its ring finger just like onto the ground with a wet splat. It like howls and drops the club onto the ground. But then
Fingerless.
it takes its legendary action to try and grab you with its other hand. So I will need a... What am I using bones? I'm going to put dice right here. Instinct. I need a strength, please.
Oh, well, at least you have a little mercy making it strength. Oh, nice. 6.
Not good, I'm afraid.
22.
Yeah, I'm afraid he got you going. So he grabs you with his left hand, like around the waist, and like lifts you up into the air. You were restrained. That was the end of Nora's turn. The goblins are going to fire a volley of arrows. I will need all of you bar Syrian to make a dex save. Actually, not you, Baragon. You're not in the path either.
Oh.
A modified 20.
Okay.
13.
Okay. So you will take 5 damage, Cynric.
Okay.
Farath, you will take none. As the goblins fire, arrows falling all around. The orcs that are running kind of ahead and now behind this troll as well are rushing forward. One of them rushes up to you, Cynric, and is going to try and stab up at you with the spear.
Excellent. I now have AC 17.
Okay.
Because of new improved horse skills.
Yeah, no, look, he tries to get up at you, but you bat it aside with the axe. Another one rushes to the base of where you are now and tries to stab you with a spear as you're held in the air. And he does so. Oh, goodness. Some D8s. For 6 piercing damage now. So you're being held up in the air by the troll, and one of these orcs comes over and stabs you in the side as you were helpless in the air. Cynric.
So my charge impacted, scattered. We've got a bit of breathing room. The troll jumps in. I don't know how disrupted the charge is, and I don't know how far the goblins fell back. But I would like to call to the elven cavalrymen that are still standing or not been knocked, and to try get them to maneuver around the back and attack the goblin shooting at us rather than go up against the troll.
Okay, no problem.
So that would be my command.
Yeah.
I'm still wedged in the middle of this combat, presumably quite near the troll. If I could move with CRO, get my strikes off, and then disengage and use the rest of CRO's movement to move by, because I have 60 feet of it. Would I be able to?
So you want to make attacks and then disengage?
Yeah. So move 20, 30 feet, attack, and then disengage and move the rest of them at the 20, 30 feet out of the combat. Here we go. Exceptional. I missed both.
Okay.
No, I got a 2 and a 3, so...
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I charge in. I probably I take a breather, everything slows down, and there's a moment with Nar facing off against the troll, and my glorious charge turned to dust as they start to reunite. So I shout out those orders and are paying too much attention as I spur CRO into this huge thing, and I've probably not had maybe some experience of hacking a troll, but not one this large or this well armored, and I can't really get at it. And then I sort of pull CRO away over to a safe flank or something.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, it's chaos in here. Very hard to maneuver a horse around this battlefield, although you are Rohirrim, so if I could do it, you can. Orc archers are going to come next, and they're going to try and fire again, so I'll need dex saves from all of you, including Baragon this time, as there are orc archers firing down your position.
Me as well?
Yes.
Can I make a dex save when I'm being grappled?
That's a
And
good
if they're
question.
shooting at me, isn't there a chance they'll shoot the troll?
There is a very good chance of the troll.
Yeah, but I don't know that. Can I make a dex save if I'm grappled in this big old hand?
You're restrained, so your speed is 0.
I don't think I can.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
You might have disadvantage to make dex saves when restrained, rather than no chance at all. But
Yeah, I'm thinking that as well.
Okay, you can make it with disadvantage.
I
this
pass
ought
on
to be fine.
19.
Okay, so if you end up below a 15, your archers are more snipey than the goblins, you will take 6 points of damage.
Okay, so I take another 3.
Yeah. You can see like a couple of the arrows like ting, 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 off the troll. His armor is incredibly bright. It's almost like it's giving off light. Yeah, arrows just like ping. They don't even leave a scratch behind most of the time. Beragond, what would you like to do?
Beragond, dodging aside the arrows from the orcs, ignores these whizzing missiles around him and leaps up to the bridge. How much of a hand is there holding on?
So if you imagine there's like the lip of the bridge or whatever, the troll's hand, like his top 4 fingers are like grabbed onto there, and his thumb is like pressed into the stone. Holding on.
Yep, he recklessly, foolishly, against all his sort of instincts, runs out and shouts, "Kalinadar!" which is Greenfather, and strikes
Nice.
at the hand.
Okay. You can do so with advantage, as he is prone.
With advantage,
Definitely.
that's nice. And then I get, yes, I'm pretty sure I hit 25.
Yes.
4. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely.
So, if I've got advantage, does that give me... nice. So, I stab my Gondorin blade into his hand for 7, 14, 18.
18. Nice. So he like reflexively lets go, and as he like reaches out with a hand to grab you, and you make a dex save, please.
I knew this. Run, you fly, you fools! I said.
It's too perfect.
Oh damn!
Oh baby, incredible. 10. So he like lets go, and he's like, and like you kind of stand there with the sword raised, and he just grabs at your leg and flies, and the 2 of you begin falling.
Can I sort of change it that I'm just not able to pull out my sword in time, and I don't have the reflex to let go, and I'm just dragged over with him?
Maybe, yeah. So you stab down with the hand, and he falls before you pull the sword out. The 2 of you go plummeting downwards. That is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, I'm just thinking in the movies, what happened to Beragond? He took a tumble off the cliff.
Okay, the goblin archers, I made them go earlier. So these are the actual foot goblins then. They rush forward. You can see that they're streaming out of the mountain now. And there's a group kind of rushing towards the cavalry. Of course. So Cynric, this horde who are like basically walking on top of each other, just a big blob, are going to try and swing for you a little bit. But only one of them managed to like barely scratch you. It will be first Hegerin, 2 points of damage. One of them like basically cuts into the leg, while the others are like falling all over the place, slashing at the elven riders. Let's see if they can take one of those down. They take 2 of them down. As like, yep, 2 of the goblins like are like flung bodily into the air and like onto the elves. Who are knocked off horses. A horde has descended. The elves now, with you, Faroth, are like running. They take shots, and you will see those of you among the goblins and the uruks will see just like arrows, like pinpoint, catching these things right between the eyes most of the time. Cutting a wave of them down, and as they fall, 2 replace them, just constantly coming out of here. And then there is a horn that sounds.
Or however the hell it goes.
Unreal. That was great. You got inspiration for that gnarly horn blow.
Hell
And
yeah.
Syrian stands at the head of more elven cavalry atop a hill. And they stand there ready. What would you like to do?
Okay, how much authority do I have over this cavalry?
Pretty much all of it.
Okay. In that case, what I want to do, if I can, if there's enough sort of room and if I'm raised up enough, I would tell them to divide and kind of try and encircle the goblins, so that way at least they're flanked and they can't escape anywhere.
Okay. Yeah. They like nod swiftly, and they begin riding around, trying to get around each side. That there's no safe side for the goblins.
Awesome.
And what do you yourself want to do?
Well, out of character, I'd totally just charge in because it's that time of the story. But Syrian's probably going to be a bit more cautious than that. He is going to sort of scan around, see if he can find his actual companions and see if he can aid them directly.
So you can see that right in the center of this swirling melee, Nar is being held up in the air by this troll. He's like holding him up and he's swinging him around. Further in, you can see Cynric at the head of some other elf cavalry, like battling amongst this thick soup of goblins. You can't see Baragond anywhere, although maybe you would see a troll falling off a bridge in the distance.
Okay. And you say that this troll had like 3 sets of armors together?
Yeah, he has like numerous suits of elven armor that have been like fashioned into one suit big enough to fit him.
Okay. I'm going to try and humiliate the fuck out of him by basically charging forward towards him and just trying to slice the armor with my spear.
Oh, nice. That is suitable. Okay, you can go for it. I've got this ridiculous new elven spear. Let's see what it does.
Okay. Okay, that's an 18. Just off the breath. Oh well.
18 is good, I think. Let me just check. Yep.
I hope so.
So it's a hit.
Cool. Yep, that is a hit. I would have done it one-handed since obviously I'm riding horseback. So it's a D8, isn't it? Okay. Presumably it's just like a straight dice. There's no bonus or anything to it.
Nope, just your straight damage dice.
Okay, that's 4.
Okay, plus your fighting stat, whatever you're.
Oh right, so plus my dex.
Yes.
Oh, okay then. In that case, 7.
Nice. Yeah, so you hear the horn and you see more elves, thankfully, kind of like begin to move around and cut off the goblins who are trying to find safety. And then Nar, you can see as you're like being swung around, this like shining light of a white spear that slashes a cut into this troll's armor, and he like looks down in rage at the culprit. And then it is the troll's turn. He is going to squish you. Yeah, so since he has you grappled, he like picks you up, he slams you onto the ground, and he's going to stomp on you.
Ow. So
the slamming onto the ground is going to be 17 bludgeoning, and then I need a dex save to not get stood on.
Okay.
So that's Nar, not you, Syrian.
Wow,
yeah, because
really?
he has Nar in his hand, thankfully.
All right. Natural 20 you just wasted, but oh well.
So Nar, when you get a chance, dex save, please.
18.
Okay, that's good. You like roll out of the way at the very last. He like smashes you down to the ground. You're like, but you've been through enough fights with these things to know when you like roll out of the ground just a second before this sort of elephant-like foot smashes down onto the ground, and kicks up a bunch of muck. He then takes his club and he's going to swing at your horse, Syrian. That's a critical hit on the horse. So,
poor horse.
Yeah, the horse is vaporized. All right, so
I'm going to be thrown off.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Yeah, better than it being you, I guess. Very
Yeah.
true. So it's 24 to the horse, so it's definitely dead. So he like picks his club up with his other hand and swings it, and like catches the horse. You like fly off in one direction, the horse flies in another, and you thunk onto the ground nearby. The horse is just like flailing off into a crowd and like lands in a goblin, and he roars out. Roar! The mountain troll is falling to his doom. It seems he's tumbling. He's like cursing you in the black speech, Baragon, like coward, and then he like just takes his hand and he like rams it into the mountainside. You can hear like all these bones snap, like, but he like punches it in, and he like begins to pull stone as he falls, trying to arrest his fall as best he can. So he's going to take a bunch of damage from breaking his hand, but he's going to slow down. He's not able to do anything to you, unfortunately. Faroth, it is your turn.
So, am I able to engage in melee with the troll at this point? How would my charge have brought me close enough, or
you'll have to move this turn, but then you'll be able to get to him.
Perfect. So, this troll is just the King in Silver has just brought his meaty foot down, barely missing Nar, and Faroth is going to do something really stupid. And you can totally put whatever disadvantage you want on this, Lloyd. But he is basically rushing forth with his new blade in hand, and he's going to attempt to kick off the troll's knee to bring him high enough to basically strike in its face. So whatever I need to do, man.
Okay. Sounds good to me. I'm going to call it an acrobatics check.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So that you can like leap off and try and get a strike in. But I will say, if you fail the acrobatics check, you're going to fall in front, and he will make a reactionary attack against you. That's one of the things he can do.
Okay. So the acrobatics, the acrobatics is an 18.
Yeah. Okay. Deadly. So you do leap up into the air. You get a good strike in, and you can have advantage on this attack.
Oh, thanks, man. And he swings Lasnark, Flame of the North. And that is a modified 20 to hit.
That will hit.
Excellent.
You,
14.
are you wielding that trollbane in offhand?
No, this is a two-handed weapon.
Okay, fair enough.
So, no, but that is 14 points of damage, Lloyd.
Okay, nice. So you see as this blade
slice it.
like looks at it, he looks at you, and then he looks at it, and he like almost recoils, like he's recognized it seems. Is that it for you?
That's it for me.
You have another attack, right? You're level 5.
I do. So landing, I'm going to take a swinging uppercut up his haunch, basically going to try and get this guy closer to the ground, trying to distract him from Nar on the ground. That's a 17.
No, it glances off.
No.
It actually slices through a piece of iron on his arm, but doesn't get all the way through. And as it's like stuck there in the iron, you're pulling it out, he like looks down at you, and he says, "A blade of Numenor, descendant of cowards, faithless, accursed." And he uses a legendary action to try and crush you to death.
Fight me.
He is going to make what I have called a golf swing at you.
Oh, Christ.
Don't worry, it's with disadvantage.
Okay.
It's bad news.
Is it? Is it really?
Okay, so I will need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to say strength. Thank you. Okay. That's okay. That's 16.
Okay, that is okay, thankfully.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot of damage. It is 27 points of damage.
Jesus.
Oh my God! On a success.
Yeah, the success was not to get launched 50 feet away.
Say it again. 20, 21.
20.
Sorry.
27.
27. Ow.
So you feel the two of the elven blades embedded into this like club that he has go into your skin and like tear.
And I think Faroth, even though like he's not launched 50 feet away, I think this glancing shot just sends him spiraling. And he's just a mess. He's alive and he's not unconscious, but he's a mess.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. This like troll seems to be pulling no punches whatsoever, trying his best to murder everything within his path. Nar, you are next to act.
Seeing this, Nar jumps to his feet, yelling out, "Faroth!" and attempts to sink his mattock into this giant foot that just tried to stomp him. So the first one is 26, the second one is a 21.
2 hits.
So that's 14 for the first one, and 12, 18 for the second.
Nice one. Yeah, slam down into the foot, and you can see you leave this big bloody gash. He's bleeding in several places already, and with this new wound, he kind of looks around and he sees the state of the place, and you see for the first time a sort of look of maybe a shaken confidence in this creature's eyes. At the end of your turn, he, from where he is, as he had entered, so he tries to leave, he leaps up into the air and leaps back towards the gate. And he lands there, crushing Cynric. You are like currently kind of battling with this orc and 3 goblins who are this big horde in front of you. And as you are doing so, one of them like launches up with an incredibly accurate strike to remove your head, and he is just slammed flat, crushed by the troll's foot as it like stomps and then begins running back into the mountain itself.
Would I get a swing at him before he evades, or does that avoid attacks of opportunity when he jumps?
I will say you can do so.
Okay.
A legendary, effectively.
It's a legendary, yeah.
Right.
So that would be 21 to hit.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, as he starts leaping, this will be another swing at his foot for 14 points of damage.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so you would see then Cynric, as he lands, that he like favors his other foot. He like lands and then he like almost falls to one knee as he like lands on the injured foot, and then he pulls himself back up and begins like an ape, like running on all fours, kind of into the castle itself.
You yellow Billy coward!
I would not die in the sun.
And you can die in the dark with the shadows.
So that was your turn now, wasn't it? Yeah, nice. Goblins. These goblins now swarm around you, Cynric, and they're going to try and strike for your horse because they are cowards. One of them attempts to do so. He has this brutal sort of 2-pronged spear, and as he tries to attack Ciaru, it lodges in this beautiful shining armor. The spear breaks in half, and the goblin falls into the muck face first. And there's almost like a singing sort of like bing, bing, as the beautiful elven barding is struck. Another one, similar situation. They try desperately to like bring down this horse, but Ciara is armored better than any of you, and the strikes continue to just fall. And it's almost like a blacksmith's sort of forge, just like bing, bing, bing. You can hear strikes all over against Ciara, but none of them penetrate. The orcs. One of these orcs by you, Cynric, sees that the horse is maybe a more terrifying combatant than you yourself, and is going to try and strike a spear at you. But he bottled it. So he tries to strike up again and again, bat it to the side with the axe, and one more. This one tries to swing up with the spear, and the axe just like slices through the haft of the spear. Weapons breaking left, right, and center in this area. Your equipment is far superior to theirs. And it's your turn.
So yeah, Sin was making his incredibly unsuccessful charge to help his friends, then gets swamped down by orcs and goblins and elven riders dropping all around him, and the tide is like washing over the both of them, and he is shielding and parrying for his life. Ciara like tramples them. Do any of the elven riders live?
Yeah, two of them had fallen from the orc
Okay.
onslaught, but the rest are still going.
How far is the Silvered King retreated into his
So he's gone
domain?
through the gates, and then he's run his speed, which is 40. So he's 40-ish from you.
There is something I want to do, but those gates are going to close right behind me as soon as I do it.
There's a flash of what you saw happen to poor Syrian's horse.
Oh yeah, I meant to mention that. Yeah, he would have through all the battle, he would have noticed the horse catapulting like through the air, the vapor. If it is 40, I should be able to move 40 and then 20 back. Will that allow me to strike at him as he sort of retreats through the door and then pull back before the doors can slam on me?
Yes, and you remember the doors taking quite a bit to open and close. You think it's quite a slow process, so you don't think you'll be trapped in there.
Okay, that's what I would like to do.
Okay.
I don't know if the other elves are either going to be okay or want to follow me or get a shot off.
Yeah, so to keep this simple, I'm basically having them do what you do. So when you move, they move with you.
Okay, right. So he, with all the spears and everything breaking off, and with the sunlight shining upon the liquid silver stallion that is Ciaro, I will raise up and like push the axe forward and charge, followed by my elven brethren, to try get some strikes off at the fleeing Troll King before he locks his doors. That is a 16 on the dice and a 14 on the dice, which makes like 22 and 20 apiece. Obviously wanting to make up for his previous failure. And the damage is adequate. That's five on both of those d8s plus 9 each. So 14s, so 28 damage.
That's more than adequate, my friend. Very good. So you smash in 2 brutal strikes to the back where he's less armored. A number of the elven lancers pierce through with lances, and as he realizes he's being attacked from the back, he turns with a legendary action and is going to do a Sauron style, see if he can knock a bunch of the elves into the sky. I will need a deck save for Ciaro.
Oh boy, I'm glad I went and got the horse stats now because I knew this was going to happen. Oh, the gods are gracious. That's an 18.
The gods are gracious indeed. So Ciara is a trained war horse. She knows, and she can see the movements and the ripple in the muscle as he isn't even looking as he begins to lift his huge club into the air. Almost against your commands, she moves back. She spots it before you do, and she moves back out of the way. Some of the elven steeds not so lucky. He turns and smashes, and 5 elven warriors with horses in tow are smashed up. 2 of them hit into the ceiling above and fall as paste to the ground, while others are smashed outside back into the battlefield. Yep.
So basically, I stand alone.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, all the remaining of the elves are gone from that charge. I think there is a Ciara probably starts backing away without him even having to say anything. He's probably just regret as all of these things have been plastered to every available space around him. Ciara kind of pulls him out and past the gate. A lone rider returning. Don't feel brave enough to fight the king in his own fortress.
You can see as you're riding out that one of the elves is both legs broken, and he's reaching for a bow that he's pulling as hard as he can to try and get a shot off as you like sprint out of there before the gates begin to close.
Oh, I thought he was going to be calling for help, but at least I can. That's a warrior's death.
Yeah. The orc archers are going to fire. Faroth, Nar, and actually all of you except for Cineric this time need to make a dex save, please.
Oh my god.
Including Beragond on the falling.
Oh, not Baragon. No, you're falling. I remember.
Nat 20.
17.
Okay, yeah. So none of you are harmed by these arrows that just like miraculously fall around you, but not into you. Baragon, you are falling.
So, sort of, in this avalanche of rock and rubble being sort of ripped out of the side of the mountain as the troll's trying to get some kind of grip, and he's pulling down half the cliff face with him, but slowing down as he does so. Beragond, with his new elven boots, is sort of like a limpet on the troll's back, and basically he sees. I'm guessing the troll. When he fell off the bridge, he grabbed the bridge with his dominant hand, and that's the hand that's sort of in the rock, sort of slowing them down most. Well, I guess Beragond sees his sword, Ondosikil, in that hand still, having been ripped out of his hand, and he's just going to try and time it so the moment the momentum slows, he's going to ready an action, but basically the moment the momentum slows enough for him to run up that arm, he's going to run up that arm, jump onto any little outcrop and stab the hand again and hope that he's able to knock the troll down again. But that he doesn't have much hope, but that's the only thing he's going to try and do.
That's amazing. Love it. Okay, the goblin archers or the goblin horde. You run into these, Cineric, because you're fleeing the cave. They're still there, and there are no elven cavalry around you. But you can see coming from your right the elves that Syrian had sent. So many names, it's very difficult. They're coming around and they're about to smash into the goblins. But in the meantime, they're going to try and swing for you. Another broken weapon. This dice is very cursed. Okay, so I rolled 2 1s and a 9 there, so nothing happens. 2 weapons are smashed against Ciaro's plate once more, and none of them penetrate. All right, the elves from either side now, and behind Faroth, rush in, sort of enveloping the enemy. Although outnumbered, they're much more gracious fighters, and they kind of envelop now, and you can see that there is a headway being made. Many goblin and orc are being killed. And then Syrian.
All right, so will I still have an opportunity to actually throw my spear at this massive troll?
I will say yes, because it's too gnarly.
Awesome. So with the others talking about darkness and that you will die in the dark, I will instead shout, "The light will always pierce the darkness."
Fuck yeah.
And I will use my inspiration. Okay, so that is a 21.
That's a hit.
Nice. So again, presumably one-handed since it's thrown.
Yeah.
Cool. And that's a 9 damage.
So I think Cineric would have seen, like, as the troll is like fleeing, just before he's getting a strike in, this spear just sings, and catches the orc between the shoulder blade, or the troll between the shoulder blades. It's this horrible sort of, and you can see like him trying to reach for it, but he can't get it. It's embedded into his back. Unreal. The King in Silver now badly wounded flees. And I think if you turned around Cineric, you would see him like, rather than walking upstairs, he would be like leaping up and climbing like an ape, just like climbing up these delicate stairways and stuff inside this hold. going up and up and up. The mountain troll, who is falling, like his main hand is like pulling all this rock. He has his other hand and his foot at this stage is and, like pretty much arrests his fall to the point where he's almost stopped. And now, Baragon, if you would like to take your action, you can.
Yep. So I run up his. My intention is to run up his arm as we slow down and jump onto any sort of little crevice or crag and stab him. I'll stab him with my daggers because I just don't think I'll be able to get this sword out of his hand.
No problem.
So what would you like me to do for that?
An acrobatics check, and then some attacks.
So my acrobatics. Oh god damn it! Acrobatics is an 11.
Okay, so it is difficult to climb a troll, and you had activated your boots earlier this day, and they're not having the same sort of effect that they were earlier, and so you're like grabbing kind of handfuls of like flabby, stony flesh as you're trying to pull yourself up, but the troll is like writhing, and you can climb up a little bit. You can't get within reach of the sword.
Then I'll just leap and try and stab him in the eye.
Okay. Hell yes. Okay, well you can have advantage because he cannot defend himself. He's holding on for dear life.
Then I get an armor class of 25.
Absolutely.
So the damage is 4, 7, 13, 17.
Yeah, so you are like hanging onto the side of this thing and you like pull yourself up and you're like kind of free falling for a second as you're leaping upwards, and then the dagger just right into the eye of this troll. And you're like hanging on by the dagger and it just like tries to bat you aside. It can't see now. Its foot lets go of the mountain as it like writhes, and its other hand does naturally as well. The attempt to swat you, and it begins falling once more.
Can I? I've got a bonus action in theory in my turn, but this is no. I mean, I'm on his turn, not my turn, so I can't do a bonus action. Can I?
No, not this time.
Okay. So I'll be falling with him, I guess.
Okay. A truly epic duel as you fall.
Yes.
Okay, that was Baragon. The goblin archers are going to fire deck saves for everyone except for Baragon.
Oops, 7.
Okay. 2 damage.
16.
Tis but a scratch.
A flesh
Mine
wound.
firing line again, sorry.
Yes, you're back out in the battle itself.
Sweet. Oh, that's upside down. It's an 8. I thought it was an 8. It's an 18, so I'm good.
So above a 14, you take no damage.
And how much if we failed?
2 damage.
Okay, so 1.
Yeah.
Ooh, that tickles.
Yeah. The elves continue their assault. I'm going to roll me some dice and see how many they kill. It's a lot. 16 of these orcs and goblins are cut down by the elves approaching on either side. Lances, you can see flashing, and swords. Delicate sort of curving motions as they slice heads off various creatures of shadow. And you can see that the morale is breaking. They've seen the king leave, and many of them are like looking around in fear as to what the hell they're going to do now. Syrian. Did I skip Farah this turn?
Yeah, and
I was about to
Nar,
say, because I think we went from the mountain troll
To the
And then
goblins.
skip down.
Yeah.
Because it was the hold action that confused you, so I think it was
I
Mountain
went
Trolls.
from Baragon. That's okay. Yes. So
I
I
do
went
believe you.
from Mountain Troll to Baragon. So it should be Farah's turn. Sorry, guys.
Okay, no
That's
worries.
okay. That's right. regardless, the last thing that happened to Faroth was that he was able to avoid this volley of arrows, and I think he's still on the floor at this point from being like just swiped into the air by this troll. And he grabs this orc corpse next to him and pulls it over himself as this volley of arrows just slam into it. He throws it aside, gets up, and like he's got blood, dirt just running off his face. His eyes are wild. Can I see? Would I have seen the King in Silver retreat? Would I have seen him go into
I think
the keep?
He's hard to miss. I think you must have.
Is there any way that Faroth can see that he might be able to catch up with the rest of them, like with climbing, acrobatics? What do you reckon?
You'd have to like run into the hall itself. So he's like he leapt and then he's like run inside and he's had a turn of climbing and stuff. You think you'd have to like get into the hall to see where he's even gone because he's out of view now, you know?
Yeah, okay. In that case, yeah, then Faroth is sort of just rolls his shoulders like barely conscious at this point, I will add. And he just starts staggering into the entrance, just pushing his way through the enemy and allies alike to get back to that particular fight. So I will use my go as a full movement.
Okay, like a dash. Yeah. So like, yeah, pushing the way through the melee. You like push an elf to the side and he gives you this look of like, Faroth, what are you doing? And you're like, rah, rah. I can imagine you like dragging the sword behind you, like not even lifting it up high, such as the exhaustion. Nar.
Does he reach my side?
Yeah.
Just is he close enough? Okay, good.
Seeing this, Nar will go, ha, well done, lad, and begin pushing through as well, shoulder to shoulder with Faroth.
Nice. Yeah, so the two of you then push your way through, getting to where Cynric is and this thick mass of goblins. Speaking of goblins, some attacks. One on Faroth, which misses. One on Nar, which misses. One on Cynric, which misses. Yeah, so they're just like ineffective. They're trying to get to you, but they can't do it. They have like these sticks almost with stones in the end of them, a spear, and they're trying to get through, but nothing seems to be very effective. The orcs, however, might be a little bit more of a challenge. One of these orcs has this big two-handed flail that he's like swinging above his head, and he rushes forward to try and catch you with it, Nar. And he does. It's a 20. But actually, does that get you?
Yep, just.
Okay. Ridiculous. Just. Better AC than the boss.
Lucky bastard.
So that's 14. This big flail catches you in the side. Another orc with like two sort of curved blades is like stalking through the battle, and you see him just at the last second, Faroth, as he tries to ram a blade into your spine. But you see him soon enough, and you manage to bring up this big sword and parry the blow aside. What you don't see is his second blade trying to slice into your thigh. No, you really don't see that. And so, minimum damage. So you'll take 3 piercing damage as this like knife catches you in the thigh. Faroth? And then...
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, because Faroth is so intent to like get to after the troll, like it just sinks into his thigh. And he just looks at this goblin and just shoves him aside and he keeps going, barely alive, but he's still going.
Single-minded determination. Another orc. This one with a heavy axe is going to run forward and try and hit you with its Cynric. And he does not. He goes for it, and you kind of move in the saddle, and it like shaves up maybe a half inch of your armor on the shoulder, but doesn't connect any heavier than that. Syrian, an orc behind you, is going to try and stab you in the back. Oh, he does. Oh, for 10. piercing damage. So you're like looking around the battlefield, like, where are my friends? And then it's just like you get shanked in the back by this orc blade.
Youch.
I'm gonna eat your liver. That is the orcs. Cyneric.
So I imagine I sort of came back out into the light. Are these doors very slowly closing, or are they kind of stalled?
They're actually doing nothing.
Right.
It seems like the chaos is too much and they're not thinking properly.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm sort of riding up and down in sort of short circles, almost short lines, just everything bouncing off me. Seemingly, I remember when one walk arrow almost killed me, and now there is an entire army trying to swamp me, and nothing is getting through. And I'm probably like this shining beacon that like Faroth is hobbling towards, and Nar is just running and laughing. As I patrol up and down this gate, can I see, is the mechanism on this ground floor to open it, or do chains like go up into the ceilings and it's like
chains and stuff? Yeah. When you were inside, I guess you would have seen it briefly. There's like a little sort of tower on either side of the inside of the gate where like chains are pulled.
Right. So is there any chance that I could wedge the gate open, cut the chains so the thing couldn't be done, or destroy
the mechanism inside? And kill the orcs and goblins who are like there, or like try and hack through one of the chains. They won't be able to close it then.
I guess I'd probably go for the orcs and goblins manning it. But yeah, seeing perhaps this familiar sight of my friends coming towards me, I get he's probably still far in like the din to really shout to them, but he kind of says to himself, or to Ciaro, I guess onwards it is. And you see him like rise up and rear up and then dash back inside to then cause havoc on the inside. Now that the Troll King has run a safe distance, I'll go after whoever is like trying to man mechanisms or looks like they're not running in sheer panic.
Sure.
18 on the die and 13 on the die, so that's like 19 and a 24 or something.
So you can like run Ciaro in and turn, and you can see there's like a sort of slope that leads up to this like mechanism where there's like orcs and goblins pulling, and you just like ride up it, up the hill, and just lop the head off one goblin, and then the damage for the orc might not kill him. The goblin's dead.
One of the damages was 12, and the other damage is 15. So like the goblin could take one, and take the other. 15
will also kill an orc. So two heads roll.
Thunk. And I sort of stand probably I don't know if there's any more around this mechanism, but I stand sort of triumphant, bellowing like Rohirrim war cries, swinging this axe, this lovely normal axe that is just carving its way through tons and tons of black blood.
Yep, all your friends have magical weapons, and you just have a sternly made, nice old school Rohirrim axe. Yeah. Maybe it'll become magic on its own. So that was Cyneric. The orc archers now, with very few targets. Since you've moved inside, they're going to try and fire down at Syrian and at Nar and at Farath. So I'll need a dex save from each of you.
That's another 9.
Another 8.
Okay. It's another staggering 2 points of damage.
Uh-huh.
The dice have cursed me today. Good God.
Nar doesn't even notice the half dozen arrows that are like sticking out of him at this point.
Baragond. Oh, you're muted.
As a quick glance down, how far until we impact?
Let's see. You were quite a bit up, so I would say 2 more rounds of free falling. You would hit the ground.
And how far are we from rocky outcrops and things like that?
So it looks like at this rate you will fall directly onto a bridge. That's like the way you're falling. So one of the, like, you've gone kind of right past one of them, but another one is like directly in your path, so you might like smash into that if you don't avert your course.
I'm gonna just I've no idea how to do this, but I'm judging by the way the troll is moving. He's blinded on one side because I've stabbed him in the eye. He's probably only half able to see me, but he'll be aiming to hit me. I'm going to try and sort of move silently on him, so he almost can't feel me and can't see me. So he's not really sure of where I am. And then when we're about to pass the bridge, when we're about to hit the bridge, I'm going to. My aim is to sort of stab him or make him aware of where I am. So he lunges in that direction, and as he lunges, sort of he'll actually headbutt the bridge or something like that. So I'm just.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I'll call that a stealth and a deception check. Those two things.
Okay. I'll do the stealth first. So a stealth of natural 20 and a deception of my deception is on a 15 for the deception.
Okay. So I can imagine like you're actually like falling next to him, like you're not even touching him. You're kind of just barely as you're like free falling, and he's like trying to find you. Yeah, when you get there, we will see what happens.
Okay.
The goblin archers. One more time, guys, before you get inside. So Syrian and no.
You already did the goblin archers for this turn and the elven charge, remember? So Syrian and Noah took 2 damage. Sorry?
Oh, I already did this. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, you already did this in the elven charge, so it goes to Syrian.
So Syrian, your turn.
Cute. Okay, then I'm going to try and counterattack this orc if I can. If he's behind me, I'm just going to get my mace and just try and swing round and aim for his head.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. But miss very, very badly indeed. Just a 5.
Yeah, so you try and swing with your mace, I guess, because the spear is lodged into the Silver King.
Yeah.
And he like jumps back out of the way. Okay, the king continues to climb. The mountain troll now approaching this bridge. Oh, so I'm lagging quite badly. Hang on a second.
Yeah, it froze up for a second there.
Okay, let's try this. So the troll is like falling. At the very last second, it feels a tug, and it like turns to try and grab you, Baragond, and then smashes into the bridge. You can see it just like smashes into it and then through it. You can attempt to make a dex save to not fall, keep falling, basically.
I'll try grab the bridge.
Yeah.
So, oh damn it! 15.
15's good. So the troll like smashes, and you like cushion your landing with the troll. You hear like all sorts of snaps and cracks and crunches that like smashes into the bridge, and then through the bridge, you were able to barely hang on to the bridge with like your fingers. As the troll plummets down further, and you see it like hit a bunch of other things on the way down, until finally smash on the ground below. Nothing more than a red stain, a black stain, I should say. Nice one. 1v1 to troll.
Nice.
But the second time.
Yes.
Second time. Troll killer.
Okay, so that was the mountain troll. Faroth.
So Faroth has staggered into through the gates, following his friends. Can he see? Can he see the king in silver?
I don't think you can, but I can point you, whirling my axe up the fast staircases that he climbed up.
I lagged out for a second. I missed. I think you asked me if you could see him.
Yeah.
The short answer is yes. The long answer is he has climbed maybe 100 feet up. So if you once you come into this place, you can see that it was elven once, and there are these many sort of interlinking, sort of crossing bridges, very delicate stairways that lead up this big hall.
Yeah.
And he is like basically, rather than taking the stairs each time, he's like leaping from one bridge to the next, pulling himself upwards. You can see at the very top, on the left-hand side, that there is a sort of opening there. There is light coming from there, but obviously leads outside again, and that's where he seems to be going. Also within this place, you can see that this was obviously once an elven sort of courtyard, and you would see this too, Cynric, that like where once the stables were, there is now just like bones, and it seems to be like a feeding area, and the place is kind of ruined all around, all these beautiful elven buildings that have been destroyed. But like atop this little altar, I guess, like up on a little hill or a little plateau, there is the only thing that's not rusted to bits is this anvil. And there's a hole from where you see up the top, the sun shines directly down on it, an anvil, a beautiful elven sort of silvery anvil, and that looks like it was made today. It looks perfectly brand new, shining and beautiful, while everything else is ruined. So that's what you can see in here. The king has climbed quite a bit up. It looks like you're going to have to climb after him if you want to get him.
Yeah, so Farroth's maddened eyes rest on that anvil just for a second, drinking in the beauty of it, before snapping back into the bloodlust that is dominating his thoughts, and gritting his teeth. He is going to begin a hasty, desperate climb after the troll.
No problem. Nar.
Yeah, if there's like no impediments in between, like any enemies to smack, I'll just move my full 80 for dashing after the troll.
Yep. Okay, so I think at this stage, like the battle part is done for now. I think we could do like a skill challenge to chase this guy up through the mountain fortress, rather than do another 40 hours of killing goblins. So I'll need you, unless that's what you want to do, I'll need you guys to choose a skill that you think is appropriate. Obviously, like athletics, perception, things like that are good, but also any other things you can think of, history and stuff, are more than welcome. If you can think of a way to use them.
Oh, yeah.
I will need 5 successes before 3 failures to catch him without incident.
I'm totally smashing the history, guys.
Okay.
I'll go for acrobatics if no one has any objection.
I don't know, because obviously, for instance, like I don't know where Baragond is like at all. I know he's up at halfway up a mountain, but like I kind of know where Syrian is, and he's not here. So I was wondering, with my like 120 feet of horse movement, while I watched these two shamble up past me, and I'm like concerned for them. I wondered if I could maybe arrive a turn or two late or something and pick up Syrian.
Definitely, you could make me an animal handling check for that if you like, to ride through.
Oh baby, that means I get advantage and expertise, because that's how good I am at horses. That would be a 24.
Yeah.
So as they like run up, I run past them and burst through into that battlefield, frantically searching for Syrian, who I saw get knocked by that huge great club.
You see him fighting this orc. He's got his mace in his hand. You can see him there fighting, and you're able to like run over and scoop him up onto the back of Ciara.
We've got a spear to reclaim.
We do. Aye. Off we go.
And then we dash after them. Navigate as much as I possibly can on horseback up elven stairs, because why not?
Anytime there's a possible leap, you take it, and Ciara is capable of making some pretty good jumps. Nar, with that athletics, you're able to just like push on through the exhaustion, through the wounds you've taken, and just continue like unstoppably moving through this fortress, like pushing goblins aside when they get in your way, kicking them off ledges for them to fall hundreds of feet below. Farath, you are at one stage knocked off one of the bridges, but you rather than fall down, you leap up and grab the bottom of another one and pull yourself up. Ridiculous maneuvers as you try to climb upwards. The thing is, Baragon, I guess you don't know that this is happening, but you would see that they're not in the courtyard anymore. They would have all gone in, and the battle seems to have moved away from outside to inside.
Yeah, I think the first round I just lie there on my back, just sort of amazed to be alive. But then I kind of then the noise of battle and a few goblin arrows brings me back to the present, and I look around to try and see. I'll be quite honest. I was so concentrating on how to sort of deal with this troll that I was only half listening to what everybody else was going through.
Reasonable. So basically,
what do I see?
If you look now in front where the battle had happened, you would see scores of corpses of goblins and orcs kind of arrayed around the place, but you would see that most of the fighting has actually moved into the castle itself. You would see that the above you, the towers, they seem to be empty, and those agents of shadow have moved either into the castle from where they are, or downwards past you as you were falling. So it seems like the way up is clear.
I think I'd notice. I think I'd see Cynric come out and pick up Syrian.
Yes.
And I'll. They wouldn't have noticed me. I'd been off at a distance, but I'll just basically follow after them and hope to eventually catch up with them.
Perfect. Okay, so this desperate battle ensues as you're climbing your way up through the tiers of this place. It starts to get colder and colder as you go up further and further. And the further you go, the less evidence of orcs there are, surprisingly. Although you will see that there were once beautiful sort of windows all over this place letting in light. Most of those have been covered up by sheet metal or wood and rock that have been covered up so that none of the sun comes in here. But with the writing skills, the history that you bring, you have knowledge of this place. You have read many a book, Syrian, and you know of the layout of this kind of place, and you know that the throne room is always at the very peak of such a place. And so you're able to guide Cynric through the quickest route. On the way, you will meet Faroth and
Sweet.
Nar until you will come to this area that leads outside. And that's where you'll meet Baragon, who has come from the other side. He comes kind of limping out of a tower, and you will see this sort of icy, snowy little landing, I suppose. There is a staircase leading up, but you can see that here there is this corrupted, ruined tree. And you can see from here, the next peak over had a similar tree. That one is a golden stump. This one here, a silvery, wasted thing. And it seems like there was some sort of replica of the two trees built here by the elves in ancient days, but they have been corrupted beyond savior, it seems. Yeah, and it looks like the throne room is up those stairs behind you. You have a little bit of a breather. None of the things have followed you here. You've beaten enough of them back. You can still hear them moving around below, but they don't seem to have followed you. They're fighting the elves. And as your characters take a breather, we might take a quick break and grab a cup of tea.
Sure thing.
Yep, 5 minutes.
Perfect. Amazing, amazing, amazing. If I get hit, I'm dead, but amazing.
One of the reasons I went for Syrian was because his battlefield medicine might keep you going.
Here's hoping. See you in a bit.
Yep.
Oh baby,
Well, that was interesting, wasn't it?
brutality.
Those are. I know. We haven't come to the end of that, but those troll attacks.
Yep.
Ouch.
I just feel like this is one of the issues I face when I ran Giants in Iscloft as well. It's like I can't disconnect from, like, if I'm using things like critical injuries that are like realistic, then getting hit by something that's like 15 feet tall will
Yes.
just kill you. Yeah, it's one of the things I face a lot when huge bad guys. Like if they hit you and they're so big, you would just get murdered.
Yeah. No, absolutely understand. And I guess you. I don't know. People are made of. I suppose when it's like D&D, typically you've got magic or gods or whatever, like the strength of will of heroes, and that makes less sense in like gritty things. I guess you've got to think of it as like them being sideswiped or just stepping out of the way and not taking the whole damage.
So the one that does all the damage is I made a roll with disadvantage because it's like a big goal swing. You can see it coming.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you did hit Sarah.
Yeah. I just that was Cineric is riding on a high. I know he didn't do super effective in that first turn, but the amount of weapons that are broken, I'm just saying.
I've never seen so many ones in my life. I'm stunned.
Obviously, this armor is blessed by some elven smiths and gods and the valor.
And it works so well for the arc, right? Because he was just starting to feel like there is hope, and now he's going through this battle unscathed almost,
It's almost entirely. I'm just seeing basically cataphractoid, just this solid sheet wall of metal that nothing can pierce. But that elven scene, I feel so guilty. He's usually the one that is taking all the hits, and these beautiful, delicate creatures that live so much longer than him followed him into death itself. And then died. That scene must have been awful. That Sauron just all of the horses, all of the elves, everywhere.
That's like one of those images that's always stuck with me from the movies. Just Sauron just mowing
Sauron in
people
his
aside,
way. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just an incredible scene.
That
Goodness
opening
gracious.
scene, I mean, just incredible.
And then you gave me the elf on the ground, and I thought you were going to make me like have him beg for help, but like I would have to stop and pick him up.
No, I figured like that would be fitting because I think like particularly the Mirkwood elves are heavy war based. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
And like he's like, well, I'm dying, but I might as well take some with me while I go.
And yeah, just a moment exchanged, like looking in the eyes.
Yeah.
Whew.
Here's a question. You drink a lot of tea. You're English, all of you. Tea bag in or out?
In, I think.
Are you asking if we
Depends if you want it stronger or.
I'm asking you that when you make a cup of tea.
Did I hear that right?
You leave the tea bag in or out when you make a cup of tea? I'm an in man.
Once it's brewed, I take it out.
Yeah.
I say slurping my coffee.
Yeah, I figured rather than just have it be he comes out and then you fight him to the death, that he would like flee and then you could fight him somewhere more interesting.
Yeah, I'm completely happy with this. Got a nice scene out of it. I mean, I imagine Faroth is like a man possessed and almost dead, and like Cineric could be showing some concern and would have tried to stop him if it probably wouldn't have done anything. And then thinking of seeing Syrian perhaps on a slightly smaller arc than his horse, he wanted to go out and make sure that he was okay and bring him up. Also, the amazing scene of two people riding a horse up elven stairs and leaping across broken bridges.
Killing that troll, that was so great. Just the fall.
Oh,
I could picture it so clearly. You know, I know as like he's like trying not to fall. He's like smashing his hand into the mountain.
Yeah, just in a sort of avalanche of rocks and everything. It's epic.
But it's such like it's a personal victory because no one knows. No one knows.
No one
that you
saw
did
it.
that.
Yeah.
And you're just lying there breathing heavily, having lived, and no one knows the glory.
What's worse is imagine falling all the way and then you're like, gotta go to the top again. Run all the way back up to the top.
Yep. I remember hearing when Cynric said that Baragon was halfway up a mountain. It was definitely a case of halfway up or halfway down.
Yeah.
Can I ask, just for notes, was it the golden tree that was the stump and the silver tree that was wasted, or the other way around?
Yes, the golden tree was the stump and the silver is where you're standing, which is kind of wasted away, like withered.
Right.
What are they called? They're called Torpomir, and Liliana, something like that.
Are they the actual ones or
no, they're in Valinor.
I was going to say, yeah, they're not here, right?
The actual ones were destroyed in the First Age or whatever, but these,
yeah, I was going to say,
a sort of copy that they made to like a shrine.
Remember them? Yeah. Oh, that's so
and
cool.
They set the spiders on them to ruin them, I guess.
Yeah.
Ungoliant.
Okay, so you're standing on this snowy plateau with this ruined tree before you and the stump of a golden tree across on another peak, and you can hear from up above the sort of like heavy breathing of the king in silver in some sort of throne room. You can see that there was like a sort of it's almost like just the top of a tower, and there were once it was like an airy sort of place where wind could blow through. But now you can see all of those sort of gaps have been stopped up by metal, and it looks hideous. It looks like something straight out of Mordor. They have covered all of the light to ensure that none of it gets in. But up here you can see all of Mirkwood arrayed before you. This riot of colour everywhere that you look of the millions, hundreds of millions of trees that make up Mirkwood.
So as we have that moment, as we all kind of come together, and I suppose there's this kind of eerie moment of quiet and peace among this chaotic battle that we've all endured. Nar is panting heavily, covered in blood and muck, arrows scattered about him, sticking out. But he grins as he's breathing heavily and looks over his companions as he reaches up nonchalantly and snaps off one of the arrows and says, "Well, shall we go give our respects to the king then?"
You have a strange sense of humor.
I'd like kings much anyway.
I have some silver for him.
What is there not to smile about? We are alive. We are together. What more can we ask for?
Well, there could be a bit of treasure around, I said, looking.
And I have a spear to retrieve.
Where is your spear? Where is where is Taltalas?
Taltalas was embedded into the Silver King.
Backside of the fleeing coward, that's for sure.
Never figured you for one.
Sticking to these trolls, don't they?
I never figured you for one for throwing away elven gifts so soon.
That's the only thing with spears. They are hard to retrieve once they are thrown.
Farath, there, you seem to be barely standing. Do you need Sirin to look at you first?
I doubt there is time, Cynric, unless Syrian is in possession of a gift that could heal my flesh before the Silver King makes an escape.
You could try me. I could certainly patch you up a little bit, Farath.
and begrudgingly he sort of like you look at him and you can now see that like his cloak, the left side of it is just completely soaked with his blood, where these elven blades in that club just caught him right in the side. And he isn't looking too good, but begrudgingly he moves his cloak aside so you can take a look.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll kind of put my hand underneath the cloak and almost a bit too painfully just kind of thrust my hand right into this wound. Just very briefly. But then, oh, let's dice roll. So that heals you 14 hit points. You feel this sudden coolness and relief wash over the wound.
I can imagine you like reaching under there and like setting a rib that is like poking into a lung, just like pull it out, put it back in place, slap some poultice on there. It'll do for now.
My thanks, Syrian.
You can thank me once the troll is killed. But he smiles.
Then let's do it.
When the operation was being done, Baragon turned away at the sight of all the blood. He gets a little bit woozy and sickly. If the adrenaline's not running, he gets a bit pale at the sight of blood. So he turned away, and he had a look at the tree. He's looking for a single leaf left on the tree.
Certainly, you can make me a perception check, see if you can find it.
Oh, am I mute?
Hear you.
No, I can hear you.
Investigation. Can I make investigation or not?
Sure. Yep.
16.
Okay. So as you're kind of setting Faroth's wounds, Syrian, Baragon, in classic Baragon style, begins to wander over to something shiny, and he looks at the ruins of this tree. And you can see that it's been badly like poisoned or something. It looks like it's withered almost into death, but you can see at the very top, just barely kind of floating in the wind or blowing in the wind, a single silver leaf, a reminder of Telperion, the silver tree.
I bring it down, and now that Faroth is looking a bit stronger, I go up to Syrian and give him the leaf.
What is this, my friend?
A memory of what was the name of? I've forgotten the name of the
Telperion.
Telperion. A memory of Telperion in the lands of the Valar. The start of all that is beautiful in Middle-earth, and the start of all our sorrows too.
It is very beautiful. Maybe I will keep it. Keep it for good luck. And he actually gets out a book and places the leaf inside the book.
Nice.
I lean down very low, want Ciara to get kind of closer to know. Perhaps now, Master Dwarf, is the time. Shall we charge?
Aye.
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 Faroth nods.
Onward.
All right. So you can begin up these stairs. They kind of wind around this peak until finally you come to this opening. Not even a door, it's just this opening. And inside there's like thick acrid smoke. You can see fires burning. And obviously, once this was a place of beauty, there's like this big hall leading up to a throne, and the throne is carved out of a tree, similar to Thranduil's throne, actually. But you can see that this tree has been corrupted to darkness. Black sap pours from it, and its roots have like broken through the stone, and they look angry, desecrated. And as you come in, you can see the King in Silver, and he is like a vampire drinking from this tree. As he like turns back to look at you, his eyes and his mouth are like rimmed with black veins. You made a mistake in coming here. I have been king here for longer than any of you have lived. I served the Dark Lord in ancient days. And I have allies, the likes of which you have not seen for an age. Your people have not seen for an age. I would rethink. I would kneel.
I do not see your allies anywhere now, O King in Silver. You are alone.
My ally is with me always. And he like reaches up and he pulls this black cloth down, and then there is this tapestry unfurled of the true face of Sauron when he was
Anator the gift.
Anatar, giver of gifts, and images kind of displaying him giving gifts and rings and stuff to people all over during the Second Age, and at the center of a Celebrimbor forging the rings. And you can see that the face of Sauron, although fair, his eyes glow an orange. He says, the Dark Lord is with me always.
Cyril is quite almost transfixed on the tapestry. It's very fascinating to him, and yet he just can't take his eyes off it due to the fear. The glow in the eyes.
It looks like many a painting that you have seen where the eyes follow you no matter where you are, and they look directly at you. And you can actually hear now, the longer you look, and it's hard to look away, you can hear, Snark, speaking in black speech, whispers. Come then, mortals, and die before the eye of the Dark Lord.
Nar will spit on the floor as he tightens his grip on his mattock, having that peace and the run of not fighting. The rage has left him, so he'll call to it once again as he roars out and begins to charge.
All right, let's do initiative.
Oh, surprisingly good. Dex bonus. That is a 21.
Just throw them in the chat there, guys, when you turns.
I could have sworn I keep reminding you, Rob, that we have something to do with initiatives or advantages or something, but I can't find it for the life of me on this sheet.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that, but I mean, I'm happy to.
I think that's an unearthed arcana sort of trait, but I don't know if it's
it's the ranger thing, but I thought they had something similar because I seem to remember reminding us about it previously.
No, I know what you mean, but I'm happy to go a bit later in the initiative this time.
Oh, true. But I think there was also something about us having advantage on first attacks in the turn or something like that. I cannot remember.
Oh God, maybe I'm not so happy about going late in the initiative now.
I know
Oh my
that
God.
the Unearthed Arcana Ranger has advantage on initiative and advantage on attacks on people who haven't acted yet. I don't know if that's something in the middle.
I think you've missed me off that initiative just before Pharaoh.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I know that's from the D&D, but I thought there was something similar here. I don't know. Too many games.
You'll blend.
When fighting in the wilderness, your first round of attacks in every combat have advantage. That's what I was thinking.
Here we go.
First round of attacks. Okay.
In the
In
wilderness.
the wilderness.
Oh, does this not count as the wilderness?
I don't believe so.
Okay, all right.
So he heaves forward. The spear now, you can see, is like embedded into the side of the stone. And he walks forward with his club behind him, and he is going to run forward and attack. Who is first in the room?
Well, I had said that I was charging, so I guess
Okay.
you'd probably read her first.
Okay, the first strike smashes into the floor, but misses you. As is the second. You're too quick. But then unexpectedly, he kicks out with a foot. And that one connects. I will need you to make a... Nope, you're just gone. You're just flying, I'm afraid. So you'll take 13 bludgeoning, and you go flying back 15 feet down onto the stairs. Boom, boom, boom.
Goes through the door and then back out the door before
I just
it
got
even
punted.
exited.
Yeah. And that's the end of his turn, Beragond.
Beragond, just a quick question. Where's the tapestry?
It's behind the throne, hanging above it.
Okay, Beragond is Beragond gets out, bell-thrusting his bow, and he's circling round the troll king, peppering him with arrows from a. No, he'll wait until somebody's closed in on him so he can get a sneak attack on the troll. But he's circling round as his main action is, or his double action is, he's trying to circle round and do a dash to get round to the
Okay.
to the behind him next to the tapestry.
Okay, so you're not going to attack, you're just going to try and move around and skirt around to the side, right?
That my bonus action is that my main action is a readied action to attack the moment someone's within 5 foot of him.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Okay, at the end of your turn, Beragond, he is going to use his legendary action to try and pummel Cineric, who I assume is next in line. As you two
You can
charge.
assume that if you want. Go for it.
You were the two who said charge most vehemently, so I feel like that's
Go
pretty
for it.
what happened.
Just a quick question: if he's pummeling Cineric, does that account as within 5 foot? Can
Yes.
I get my attack off?
Yeah. Does indeed. Okay, he's going to make this attack with disadvantage.
Oh, it's not the punting thing. God.
But he misses. Yeah, you see, he like grabs the club with both hands, take this huge swing, and you can feel this rush of like air, foul air, as it like misses you and Ciara, who like rears back to avoid it. And you can make your shot, Beragond.
I made it 15. I doubt
Yeah.
it hits.
No, it pings off this armor that he's wearing. Syrian.
Okay, so I'm going to try and break my gaze away from the tapestry
Sure.
in order to look for my spear if it is around somewhere.
Yeah, you can see that it's like like embedded into the wood of the throne, back of the throne.
All right. In that case, I'm going to try and pull it out.
Okay. Yeah, you can run past him. You can take a wide arc not to get opportunity smacked and sprint across the room towards this throne. But the closer you get to this tapestry, the louder the whispering becomes. And it becomes like deafening. I need you to make a wisdom save.
Do I need to make?
Yes, if you're moving closer. Well, if you're going right to the throne, then yes.
I mean, I was moving to the next to the tapestry.
Yes, then you would need to do that as well.
Yep.
That is a 14.
Okay.
That is not good. What's the target number? Is it 5?
It's not 5. 14 is okay. 14 is what you need, but 5 is not. So as you begin advancing, you like look and you can see the face, the eyes like lock onto you, Baragond, and you can like your vision like zooms into one of the eyes, and you just see fire, and you can hear it thundering in your mind. This black speech, and you are stunned. Mechanically and metaphorically, as you like look upon the reality of the Dark Lord. Okay, that was Syrian's turn, I believe. Yeah, Syrian, you can run all the way. You're maybe made of sterner mental stuff, and you're able to like not focus too long on the eye as you like grab the spear and pull it out of the stone. Is that it for you?
Yeah, I would say that because Syrian is not particularly strong, he would kind of use his whole energy to actually pull it out.
Sure.
The kind of dramatic effect, and like, sort of ready it. Like
one foot against the throne as you're like,
yeah.
And then like a spin into readiness. The end of your turn, Syrian. This troll will use a legendary action to try and pummel you once more, Cynric. He rolled exactly the same thing, a 5 and a 3. That is staggering. So he misses again. So Yarrow and yourself are seeing these swings coming, and you have managed to avoid 2 of them thus far. Nar, your turn.
So I guess I pick myself up and charge back into the room. I don't know. Yep. Can I close the distance with him with 40
you can.
feet?
Sure.
So basically, I'll just come roaring back in the room and charge right at him. And smash into him with my magic. That's 20.
Yep.
6 and 19.
Yes, 2 hits.
So that's check. 16 on the first one, and 14 on the second.
Nice, yeah, 2 big swings sunk into the shins of this this hulking thing.
No one kicks a dwarf.
It roars out. He roars out. He says something in black speech, and you can see the roots of the tree begin to like writhe in this room, cracking stone. And I'll need you each to make a dexterity saving throw. Ciaru can make it if you like.
Oh,
she has to. Actually. She's the one on the ground.
God. Because we understand black speech, do we know what's coming?
He calls some ancient spirit to possess the tree.
I'm not even fucking kidding. That was a 19, so that's a non-natural 20.
Unreal.
Ciara was just unstoppable.
On point today.
Oh.
What about you, Farath, and you, Syrian?
I'm sorry, Lloyd, I missed that. What am I supposed to make? I missed that.
No problem. Make me a dexterity save, please.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I didn't realize it was all of us.
Yep.
That is 19 as well.
Okay, nice.
That is a 21.
Wow, you guys are killing it. So you can see these like roots come snaking out of the ground and like trying to wrap themselves around your ankles, trying to like hold you in place, but you kind of see them like moving as serpents and step aside at the last second.
I guess they're on Baragon, though.
Yes, you can feel it, although you can't move. If you were to look at Baragon, you would see just like tears streaming down his eyes as he like looks unblinking at this tapestry, and a black root begins wrapping itself around his right leg. So that was the layer. Then Cynric.
It seemed the two more well versed in the artifacts are going to deal with that portrait, and perhaps he doesn't feel like looking on it too long. And also, there's a huge troll trying to hit him as he probably canters round and round this thing, getting increasingly more angry. So I will strike into the troll as best I can. Oh no, both of those miss. Starting as he means to go on.
Yeah, they like
7. It wasn't going to happen.
No, unfortunately not. Smashing into the elven made armor that this troll wears, to no effect, unfortunately. Faroth.
So Faroth is just eyes fixed on the king in silver, and he shouts to him, and he says, "I am Faroth. I am of the line of Anarion. You see this blade? It is Lactuan, flame of the north, and you will fear its sting." Royalty revealed. As I'm walking through the room, I mean, it depends how generous you want to be, but any one of my allies within 10 feet of me get 8 HP returned to them, including myself, and our troll friend needs to make a DC Wisdom 15 save.
Okay, so
I'll be frightened.
Cynric and Nar are within 10 feet of you.
Perfect.
Just to tell you, you've given me back all the damage that has been done to me so far this session. That was like 8 damage from the goblin archers, no less.
Yeah. He succeeds on his save, his wisdom save.
Very well. You see that Faroth is revived further by his words. Maybe even a slight beam of sunlight breaking through this blackened mess of this troll's habitat, and he takes a swing as that is a bonus action. So that is an 18. Does that hit?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. He shall feel its sting. Four things. For 12 damage as he swipes it at the chest of this fell beast.
Nice one. Like to make your second attack. Am I playing Faroth or are you? That's the question.
No, because I don't think I get a second attack, do I, if I have a bonus action?
Doesn't use your bonus. When you take an attack action, you get 2 attacks. Yep.
Fair, okay. And that is 19, so that is also a hit. And he takes a backhanded swing at the troll for 11 points of damage.
All right, nice one. Yeah. So you reveal your royalty to it, and it does like lift a hand as at this like sort of ethereal brightness that only it can see. But it kind of shakes it off, and you slice, and it like laughs. What nobility in the house of Anarion? None. And then he strikes at you with a legendary action. But he misses. Certainly kind of embarrassing. So you like slice into him, and he like tries to strike down at you, but you're too quick, and the club like smashes into the flagstone you were standing on a second before. And he's out of legendary actions. But it's the end of the round.
Nice.
The Uruks, he as he like smashes into the flagstone, you can see coming from up the stairs behind you, 3 orcs in black plate. These look to be shock troops. Big, burly, with shields and swords. They look to be better equipped than any of the other orcs you've seen thus far. And they begin walking up behind. One of them runs to... who's at the back? I guess you're all fighting the troll now, so it doesn't really matter. One of them runs up behind each of you. Farath, one of them tries to stab you in the back of the throat with his sword. But he does not. He and you, the first you hear of it is a sword just coming here right next to you as you're looking up at the troll. Another tries to slash at Ciara and does not. Smashes against the plate. And another one tries to stab down into the back of your neck now. And he tries to get through the dwarven armor. And then as you move, it smashes his sword and it breaks. He's left with nary a dagger in his hand.
I slowly turn around and look at him as my bloody teeth show with a wide grin.
And then it is back to the top of the order. The King in Silver is going...
Did you say 4 orcs?
3.
3. Okay, fair enough.
He is going to now... Yeah, this is what he's going to do. He's going to reach down and try and grab you, Farath. Make me a strength, athletics, please.
Athletics, okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, or acrobatics, actually. No.
Acrobatics?
Yes.
That's a 17 on the die.
You're facing a
24.
Oh!
Damn.
So close. So he grabs
So
you,
close.
and you can feel his meaty hand that's missing a finger wrap around you, and he lifts you up in front of him and says, "There is nothing that your wretched line can do against the Dark Lord." And then he tries to bite your head off.
Christ.
Okay, let's see if he can hit you with this. A 20 to hit.
It connects.
Okay. 13 points of damage. As he bites at the shoulder, and you can feel him go, and you can feel blood rushing from the wound and into him as he gulps it and seems slightly revitalized. And that is the end of his turn. Beregond, you can make me a wisdom save if you so choose.
I actually think that I had my action last round, which I had a readied action, but I shouldn't have had. I should have been in. So I'll pass this round and take
You
the
missed
save next round.
anyway, so nothing happened because it was when I got attacked. So you technically,
I still had an attack.
You can make the save at the end of your turn anyway to see if you escape the Wrath of the Eye, if you like.
Well, I get a 20.
Yeah, so you're able to pull yourself away finally. You kind of zoom out of the eye and back, and you can see the face of the deceiver. And your eyes are in agony. It's like there's tears rolling down your face. You haven't blinked in minutes.
And there are roots wrapped around my legs as well.
Yes, yeah. Okay. So at the end of your turn, Beregond, the King of Silver is going to try and squish Farath. He's going to throw you onto the ground. He doesn't need to hit with that. He's just going to throw you. For 11, as he throws you onto the ground.
Oh my god. Yeah, there is a sickening sound as Farrell hits the ground and he sort of rolls and he's on his knees, but he's still just going.
Good. In that case, I need you to make a dex save as his foot attempts to follow you.
It's better you can make one than not.
Yes.
Nat 20.
So he throws you on the ground smack, splat, and you're like, ugh. And you rise up and roll out of the way just in time to see this foot come crack the stone that you were on. And as you as he does so, like one of the daggers that you had in your pocket or like attached to you had like fallen out, and he stands directly on it. He goes, enraged. Syrian.
Okay, so amidst the chaos, I'm going to try and just kind of carefully pinpoint my target. If I'm close enough, I'll just simply try and reach with the spear, since I've learned not to just throw away my spear so carelessly now. All right. Okay, and as I reach forward with both hands, I'm assuming that I narrowly miss. That is an 11.
Yes, you kind of, it grates along some of the armor, but doesn't pierce it, unfortunately. At the end of your turn, he is going to take his club and he's going to try and hit Cynric. Are you a witch, Dan? Have you put some sort of curse upon my dice? So he misses you again. He must be a sorcerer.
With the golf swing, or
yeah, with golf swing. Yeah.
Okay.
So once again, your sorcery is successful, and he misses as he tries to end you.
I think you have to have a word with Thranduil about that.
Yes. And then Nar.
Okay, I'll attack that Uruk that busted his weapon on my back in a cowardly attack for a 23 to hit.
Yes, sir.
And that will be 15 points of damage.
Okay.
And that'll be a 26 for the second hit.
Yep.
For 13 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, you smack him twice, boom, boom, with the mattock through the armor, and he seems to like be barely standing, heavily dazed. At the end of your turn, the king is going to, yes, he's going to try and bite Faroth as he's down on the ground. He does not. He goes down. He his one hand smashes on the ground next to you, and the other one he's right on top of you, and he goes, ah! And you roll out of the way, and he roars out in anger, ah! And that is end of Nora's turn to Lair.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, so he looks back to the throne, and he calls out in the Black Speech. For the hated fire to make an appearance, and it does. A fire catches as if from nowhere all over this floor. I'm going to need each of you to make a dex save, please, as fire begins to burn these roots that seem to burn as if they're covered in oil.
Do the trolls and the orcs have to make it if there is flame all over the floor?
Yes.
18, boyos.
Dex 18.
Yeah. You would make this with disadvantage by Argand as you were stuck in place.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the luck is faltered. Ciara is finally going to take damage from
My God.
magical fire.
I get a 15.
Okay. Yes. So then, if you got below a 14, then you will take 6 points of fire damage. And now the heat is sweltering in here. You can see the two of the orcs have been caught with it. And it's thick and smoky and hellish in this room. There's the lair. Cynric, you are next.
Concerned that the immortality is failing, although still managing to dodge this giant club, which could crush both of them at any moment. The fire is obviously too much and cannot be dodged. So with the whinnies of pain in his ears, he's going to strike out hopefully more successfully this time. Yes, that is 17 on the die and 13 on the die, so that's a 19 and a 23.
Okay, 2 hits.
Because Because apparently that's how I do. I miss everything and then hit everything, and then roll really mediocre on the dice again. That's 13 damage and 12 damage because of my obscene bonus.
Okay.
Is there any place that isn't on fire in this lair that I could like disengage and walk to? Because I have a lot of movement I'm not using.
Yeah, I mean it's it's patchy, but it's pretty much everywhere that the roots are, and the roots are kind of coming up and down everywhere.
Okay.
So not really. I guess is the short way of saying that. So Cineric, the king has one more. Yeah, he has one more. He's going to try and get this.
You have 4 legendary actions or 3?
3.
Because you've done 3 already this turn. You've thrown Faroth to the ground and then tried to crush him. You've golf swinged me and then you tried to bite Faroth and missed.
Yep, that's correct. Then he won't do that, and it's Faroth's turn.
Faroth is basically just rolled out of the way of that bite, and once again, blood is just pouring from him. He's barely alive, mechanically 2 HP. And I don't know, Lloyd, you could tell me, like, would I have managed to hold on to my sword when I was thrown?
Yes, it's Middle Earth. You would have.
Okay. So, like, this troll is just above me, and Faroth is just rising back to his feet, screaming. Fire surrounding him, is gonna attack twice with Black Dawn. Oh, yes! That is a natural 20 and a 19. So,
sometimes the gods are good.
Sometimes, if I'm going down, then this is a good way to do it. That is 21 on the crit.
Okay.
And that is 14 on the second swipe, as Faroth just throws his entire weight into the troll.
Okay, and then I need you to roll me a percentile. I need you to add 10 to it.
Add 10 to what I roll, yeah? That is an 87, so 97.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so the slice cuts him deep into under his arm, and we see blood, black blood, splurting out, like spraying heavily. It seems that this wound is a lot worse than it looks, and it's bleeding very heavily. Mechanically, he'll be taking damage every round until he dies.
And as I'm up close to him, Faroth just snarls into the troll's face. Die with me, troll. Die!
There's much less bravado from the troll now. He looks at you with this look of, I will take you with me, you little shit. Faroth, the Uruks are going to try and slice you in the back. So it's a critical hit on Nar.
Now remember, he had broke his weapon. He doesn't have a weapon.
Yes, so it'll be like a dagger, basically, a D4.
Yeah.
Which is... Fucking D4 is that. There we go.
Oh, Celtics.
So that is 7.
Celtic 4.
Yeah, and any... Oh, I will roll the percentile, I guess. Oh, this is bad. So it's, I guess in this case, punctured lung. You gain 1 exhaustion every time you fail an athletics, acrobatics check, or when you take the dash action.
Okay.
So this knife finds its way through the armor and in through the side of your chest and into a lung, and you feel like a bubbly sort of as blood comes from your mouth, pulls it out. Yeah, so that's what that is. That was the first Uruk. The second, you're going to strike at Cineric. It's a hit! I can't believe it. Oh my god.
Congrats. I told you the
Finally.
curse is broken. It just
Yes,
took magical
and
fucking
it's-
fire.
Lloyd is so
Damage as well.
happy.
It is going to be 12 damage, Cynric. For maximum damage as he hits you with the sword.
What is this? Damage, my own blood.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. And then we got Faroth for potential death here. And it's a 2 on the dough. So he misses you. He goes to slash. And you're just like in this blood haze as you like move effortlessly out of the way. However, the king narrows his beady eyes upon you. And if he's going to go, then maybe you're going to go as well. He's going to try and swing for you with his club. So that's a critical hit, I'm afraid.
Good night.
Oh no. Good night, sweet prince.
That's bad news. Okay. So it's 26.
So he is at minus 24. My God.
So he smashes you. And now the percentile for the crit, it's an 80.
Oh.
Attacker immediately attacks again. Okay. So it's basically that overpowered thing from Star Wars. He goes to swing at you again. You see Farah fall, and he's like not moving on the ground, and the club comes down. And it connects again. You have 2 failed death saves. And he looks at the rest of you and says, "You will all die here." And Baragon, it's your turn.
What do you do?
You hear me shout, "Captain!" as he goes down, and Beragond trapped where he tries to struggle against the vines, but he gets out Belthronding his bow and waits for an opening and fires at the ear of the troll. 21.
That's a hit.
Should get your sneak
Four.
attack because I keep getting clubbed out. I'm still up.
For 11, 15, 19.
The arrow goes right into his ear. Like, he doesn't have ears, he has holes where his ears should be, and just goes up maybe 2 inches into his ear, and he kind of like stumbles. And he's like bleeding heavily from this arm wound, but he seems to still be standing. He is going to do whatever he can in this last desperate moment. Oh, he takes damage at the start of his turn as well. Hang on a second.
Oh yeah, bleeds.
Yeah. He takes his legendary action to try and smash you, Cynric, finally. No, he does not. And in fact, as he goes to, he like catches the flagstone in a bad way, and one of the blades within his club just smashes off, and like flies into a wall nearby.
You want us to get another one?
Yes, yeah, but it's with disadvantage.
I know, but still.
Okay, Syrian, your turn.
Well, Jesus. Okay. I'm gonna rush in. Kind of keep a firm hand on my spear, but rush right in to Farath. And if I can, I'm gonna try and just drag him a bit out of this fray of clubs smashing everywhere. And I'm gonna just try. At this point, I'm sort of panicking. I'm not thinking straight. To just do anything to revive him, anything to stabilize him, anything at all.
Yeah, you could certainly make me a medicine check to try and stabilize him.
No problem at all. Okay. That is a 16.
Yeah, so you kind of look and you can see that there are crushed bones here, definitely. this will need healing beyond your skills, it looks like, but nonetheless, you can like staunch some of the more dramatic bleeding. You can like try, again, pull that broken rib out of the lung that's gone back in there.
Where did that go again?
Reaching into the wound and just like, luckily he's unconscious and you can't feel the agony as you like try to set his broken body. Nar. Oh, actually, no, first he will use his legendary action to try. He's going to try and hit you, Nar, because he's having no luck. And he misses. Again, you like take a step back as you feel the hot, acrid air like move towards you. It's your turn now.
Seeing Ferris fall once more, he roars out his name, Farah, and charges, going at this troll like a meth-crazed lumberjack as he begins swinging at the troll. I'm going to be attacking recklessly. So that will be 18, 25 for the first hit.
Okay.
And that will be 14 points of damage.
Okay.
Hoping for that crit. That'll be 26 for the second hit. The hit.
Yep.
And that'll be another 13 points of damage.
Okay. These hits, you can see, are the ones that bring him down, although as you like slice into the hip and then like into the base of the spine, his last action is to swing wildly all around. So I'll need a dexterity save from each of you, please, that are in contact with him. So not Baragon, but the rest of you.
Is there a way that I can take like a disadvantage in my roll if I try to shield Faroth and
you can take the hit
if they get hit? Yeah, that's what I will do. Just take it without rolling. Then that's what I'm going to do. When I see him do that, I'm going to purposely step in between him and them as he's working on Faroth.
Okay, you can have inspiration.
Can I step in front of this for Ciara? Otherwise, she's probably dead.
Yes.
She only has like 19 health at max, and you've already done half of it. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you can like
shield it.
Maybe pull her back and like throw yourself in the way of the blow.
Yeah, or kick off her. So like he sort of moves several steps back, and then I just take the full force of it as it comes swinging into me.
Okay. Did anyone get above a 14?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, if I get to, I'm just taking the hit, right? I don't make.
Yes. So then Ciara can't take it, but you will take the hit.
Yeah, sweet.
Okay. Well then, it'll be 27 damage.
Holy crap! Oh
So
shoot! I only take half of that. Luckily, otherwise I'd be down. Well, but I take 14.
He like falls forward, dropping the club, like his two hands like lifting up. And he says, my allies will see you crushed. You don't like fire. He will show you dragon fire. And then he thumps forward and dies.
Well, I've also been knocked to the floor.
The floor gives out, the tree shrivels, and now all that blows here. A little bit of wind moves the tapestry as the Troll King falls down. The Uruks flee in terror, seeing their lord fall, start running back down away.
Half dazed, battered, and bloody, Nar will stumble forward to where Faroth and I'm sorry, I get the Syrian, not Cineric. I was going to say Cineric. Are and quickly look them over, expecting to find Faroth dead.
Yeah, so it looks like they're both close to death. Faroth closer than he's breathing, a rattling sort of breathing. Syrian has been like clubbed. You can see like a welt on the side of his head, lying on the ground.
Does your dwarf wisdom lead you to healing? I know little of the ways of dwarves. Can you mend this? No.
I'm afraid my knowledge lies in causing wounds, not curing them.
Yeah.
Faris
That
is
you're an
stable,
expert,
right?
but you're specialized. I'm going to try and stabilize Syrian.
Yes, please.
I'm going to look. I take out some. I open his mouth and put him in the recovery position. That's about as far as I can get. 11.
Yeah, I think it's a 10 you need just to stabilize. So you're able to like stop the profuse bleeding that's coming from the wound in his head. You can like bind it, and yeah, there's silence, except for the whispers that you continue to hear. Oh, no.
So I imagine in my moments there, like I kicked off Ciara, so she went in a different direction, and I basically leapt into the club to like cushion it, and probably I took a huge hit that almost killed me, and it landed very heavily on the ground, probably like 5 feet away or something, and I sort of on all fours just stand up. He's not even paying attention to that tapestry. He sees like Ciara sort of shy on her feet from the burning, and his friends being tended to. If we throw him up on Ciara, I can get him back down, get him home as quickly as possible to the elves. They might have something. Can you deal with that travesty? It's always more your thing, Baragon, than mine.
All shall kneel.
And
Baragon?
Gift giver. I say quietly. Baragon doesn't look at the tapestry, but he takes out a dagger and goes and climbs up the wall and cuts the tapestry down so it sort of falls in on itself, and rolls it up so you can't see the image, hoping that stops. If you can't see the eyes of Anatar, it will have less effect on him.
Yeah.
That's what he's telling himself. That's what he's telling himself anyway.
As you approach, you can hear it whispering, I give gifts. I can save your friend. All you need to do is kneel.
I believe I'm leaving it in the hands of this grabby-handed lunatic and a dwarf. Greed mad. But I think my friends are more important. Can I try lash them up to Ciara and start walking her down?
Sure.
Or riding her down or something if there's enough room?
You can hear the voice as well, Cynric. Your family, your lovers, your allies, all shall be dust. You will mourn again.
He is like purposely hasn't looked at it like the entire time, and he's like shaking his head, trying to like get it, like holding the side of his face, trying to get it out. He's just really trying not to engage with it at all.
Is there fire still going in the room?
They went out spontaneously when the Troll King died. Just,
If I get these back down to if I get them back down to the elves, I can come back up again. However long that takes them alone in this room together with the Dark Lord.
So where is the tap? Did he successfully roll the tapestry up?
yeah, if he didn't stop and listen, then he would be able to climb to the top and like cut it down.
I cut it down then and roll it up, telling myself that this will defeat evil in Middle Earth. Rolling up the tapestry will stop it.
Do the whispers still plug us once it's rolled up?
They never stop.
So I will reach into my pack and pull out a flask of oil and a torch. We must see that destroyed.
Think of the gold, Master Dwarf. You shall be richer than honey.
I think you are being rash. No.
I am not surprised that you think that as I continue walking forward. You must not listen to its promises. It will only bring your doom.
I'm not listening to its promises. I am listening to my own. I swore to Gleogwend that I would bring it to her. It should be the elves who decide what happens to it.
You
It
would
was
doom
made
us
by elven hands.
for
It
the
was made by
favors of a
elven hands.
lady.
It could be destroyed by elven hands.
I must just be destroyed here and now.
I am in your heart, Nar.
It snarls. I need you to make a wisdom save.
That is a 8.
So you feel the Morgul wound that you have flare up, agonizing. You fall to your knees as like you can almost feel like black tendrils spilling out from it.
I am in your heart. You belong to me.
I grunt in pain as I stumble forward, fall onto a knee, managing to hang on to the flask, but the torch is slipping from my grip and sliding forward as I begin gritting my teeth and crawling forward towards the tapestry, leaning on one hand.
Oh, Nar's been a sort of hero of mine, so I think temporarily I'll run forwards and try and maybe knock the flask away and help Nar. Meanwhile, what's Cynric doing?
No, if I've gone outside and looked down, does it look relatively clear? Are the elves calling up, or
You can see the Uruks like fleeing down the mountainside, and you can still hear like sounds of fighting from below.
I don't want to send like my friends are potentially dying on the back of my horse, and I don't want to send it down there to die. But obviously, I might hear the stumbling and the crashing of oil and things behind me.
Yeah, if you were close, I'm sure you probably would have heard Nar cry out in pain.
Yeah, from his mortal wound. I don't know. Maybe mine is also twitching or something, just from the proximity. He is like literally trying to turn his back on his old life, on darkness, and believe in this light that Thranduil has given him. He is struggling. I guess, I don't know, hearing the fighting downstairs is not safe enough. So he'd leave Ciara for a second outside, presuming there's no danger, and turns back around, slow, heavy steps, weighted steps, to see Nar and Varagon sprawled. Where is the tapestry related to you? If you're still holding it, Varagon, have you dropped it?
I've dropped it and I've gone to Nar. And
Yeah, it's fallen into a huge pile at the base of the thrones.
Okay. There is no way but to just carry it, I guess. Can I make one very long, agonizing step after another, walking past those two, trying to focus his mind on fighting the shadow to try pick this thing up?
You will mourn again.
Never. Not
I
again.
would like a wisdom save, please.
I know. I don't think I've had like any advantages or anything to this. I'm not the man. Holy fuck! I honestly, I can hold this up to the camera, get like a natural 20.
I love the holding it up to the camera.
Oh my god! Like
unreal. So you're walking, and each step is like, and you can feel this like force almost blowing you back, like this gale force wind.
You are mine. I am in your heart.
But eventually you come to the tapestry. You can feel, you can see fire all around.
like the edges of my like, am I transported somewhere else? Is like the edges of my vision, but I'm still in this same room and like engulfed in fire.
It's like a vision you're having.
Okay. I, knowing where the tapestry was last, I reach out one hand and say, "You were in my heart, but you have no place in it anymore," and just plunge my hand into the flames in front of me.
Unreal. You can like grab the tapestry.
He rolls it up as best he can and grips it tight, like white knuckle. And he is probably struggling with every fiber of his being, and flames are licking at the edges of his vision, and whispers are echoing in his head. And he walks again slowly back across the room, past the two. I imagine like the mortal wound is like trying to take him over again, and all the pain, all the mourning is done. But now is not the time for mourning.
There's visions of family members, of loved ones slain. Everywhere that you look, the room is full of dead bodies and fire, and nonetheless, you're able to soldier on, each step echoing.
It's like Frodo going up Mount Doom, and I'm coming down. I just keep stomping one step after another all the way down these long, laborious stairs.
What are you doing, Cynric?
He probably hears it as like an echo, a faint echo in the back of his mind. Does not belong here. We will take it, use it, destroy it. I don't care.
You hear Nar's pained voice echoing, "It must be destroyed. Burn it. Destroy it now.
Cast it into the fire."
It is made from fire. Perhaps it can be unmade. And he's thinking of the forge downstairs, the one pure thing left in this tainted place. Perhaps upon there it will meet its end.
Unreal. So you can step outside and you can like see like in the flames like a clear over up and to your right, a clarity, like a light, a bright light. Farath, you would open your eyes blearily for a second and you would see birds approaching through the sky towards you.
Can I ask before I respond in character, would Farath know what kind of birds they are?
Eagles.
And muttering sort of with the only breath left in his lungs, he says, "The eagles are coming."
So they come, Gwai here, the Lord of Eagles, and the rest swoop down And you can see them swoop past the mountainside and down, picking up trolls and fucking them down, casting them down below, all around. There's a cheer from the elves inside. And all around, the orcs are unmade. And you can see when they pass in front of your vision, Cynric, that there is like a clear blue sort of safe area as they pass in front of you and then vanishes, replaced by fire as you continue to hold this thing.
I don't know. I'm still making my way down. The eagles, I can see them like through cracks in the fortress or like through the door. Am I?
So you would have come outside now, onto the plateau that you were previously, and that's where you see them.
Right.
And one of them swoops by, and its talons grabs Ciaru with Farath and Syrian on top, flies off. Another grabs you, picks you up, and dives down the mountainside, swooping into the cave mouth itself and dropping you unceremoniously at the anvil.
Right. I presume there's like tools and a forge and that kind of thing around this anvil, even if they're like goblin made or something. He walks to the anvil and lays the probably quite large tapestry upon it, and he maybe doesn't have the best skill at blacksmithing, but I'm sure he's done a few horseshoes or something in his time, or and starts to stoke the forge, building and building, and the tools start to glow, and he takes like the forceps that are now like glowing orange, and tries to pick up the tapestry and have it unmade.
Yeah, it begins to burn as you like pull across the anvil, and it becomes heavier and heavier, and it stops with the face of Anatar above, visible on the anvil itself.
It burns away, so it burns, and it's starting to crisp the side of the face of this impossibly beautiful being, and he's still almost in this trance, and I guess it burns slowly away until all you see are those glowing red eyes before they puff.
I will not forget your name.
And then as the last embers of this tapestry burn, there's like a subsonic and orcs everywhere are like thrown to their feet, as are elves, as are everyone. And I think at that stage, you would pass out, Cynric.
I'm okay with that.
And I think the rest of you then would awaken briefly, kind of in and out of consciousness, as you see Mirkwood from on high, higher than you had been previously, carried in the talons of eagles. And that's where we'll end today's session.
Wow.
That's fucking gnarly.
Yes!
Real.
Oh man, that was so good.
I'd just like you to know that you've done, for the first time and perhaps all the time I've played on OSG, I actually had to stop writing notes just to play that scene. That's how big that scene was there.
Crazy.
That was so epic. Lloyd,
fuck.
Very cool.
thank you. I got to say it. I got to say the Eagles are coming.
I figured you
so
were doing
happy.
something pretty monumental, like removing Sauron's influence from the mountains, right? Like that's what that tapestry was, more than just. And so, like the Eagles had been, or Gwaihir, I guess, is their lord, had been like aware that something great was happening and came to help. Just love
Gwaihir, man. Deep cuts.
Trying to like walk out of that room carrying it. That was fucking unbelievable. All right, I'm going to end the podcast. Thank you to those of you who watched. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to all my wonderful players.